Well, hello, everyone. This is Wilson Cole, and I'm president of Adams, Evans, and Ross Backdoor Hires and ELOC Global Partners. I'm joined here with my lovely daughter and our general counsel, Samantha Cole. And Samantha, it is odd times. If you're watching this recording, then we're in the front side of this coronavirus outbreak, and there's going to be a lot of repercussions, in my opinion, to the economy outside of once this virus plays through. But one of the first things that I would not have even thought about, and I've done this for 28, 29 years, and I've never seen this countrywide. And so we want to share what's happening with the court systems, how that's going to affect the existing clients that we have, and why you probably want to reevaluate if you're planning on suing somebody in the next 2 to 4 weeks. Samantha, explain to us, I know the Supreme Court is shut down, but you've been getting notifications everywhere else.
Yes, so Supreme Court has shut down, as I think we're going to start seeing different aspects of the federal government that aren't or are not essential shutting down. At a local level, it started with rumblings of, Thursday I was hearing, we're based out of Atlanta. Atlanta's in Fulton County. I started hearing the DA's office is going to close. They're going to postpone trials, suspend jury duty, things like that. It went all the way to Saturday. I get an email from the Chief Justice of the Georgia Supreme Court stating all court activities except for basically bail hearings that are necessary for, constitutional rights of people getting arrested have been suspended, and I believe those are even going to video conferencing so that they aren't having hearings. Everything for Georgia, and I'm seeing this in a lot of other states, it's only noon on Monday. I'm still trying to get a pulse with other attorneys that I know in other states. Everything is halting. That does not just mean, court shut down, trial be postponed 2 weeks. I've never known where this has happened they are halting the calendar as it does not exist.
Okay.
So if we filed suit, let's say we got something filed on Thursday for you, and a debtor has 30 days to answer, when the court's closed on Friday, that meant only 1 day had passed. Until the courts reopen, those 30 days are not passing. We have literally just hit pause on the legal system.
Yeah. So statutes of limitations
limitations are paused in most states. I think you're going to see in all states in the coming, I would say days, but at this point things are changing by the hour.
Okay. So what that means for our existing clients, if we told you 2 weeks ago we'd have you an update in 4 weeks, guess what? It's going to be at least 6 weeks, and that's not us. That's not the attorney. It's everything just has been put in frozen animation. If there is somebody that you were looking at suing, I would suggest at this point, do not sue them. Let's freeze it where it is. If it's in with us on collections, let's extend that collection process. If you're not utilizing us and you're going to go through your local attorney, my suggestion would be literally give us a shot for the next 30 days because you're not giving up anything, because if you take it to your attorney and they sue it, nothing's going to happen for the next 30 days.
File.
You can't even file. Yes. So
they could draw up a Word document on their computer and charge you, $800, but nothing can happen for the next couple weeks at least.
And I don't want to be morbid, but I also want to go through the realities of it. And this is one thing that happens with a recession. And I'm not talking down the economy. I think things are resilient. I think there's going to be some very positive things. 15 years ago, we were all brick and mortar. We have offices located throughout the globe, but for the most part, 90% of our workforce works remotely because of technology. I know what that has meant for us from a profitability standpoint. And I think that other companies are going to find out the same thing. So I think there's some benefits to it. But here's a basic fact. If there was a company that was in trouble and they were barely hanging on, they are not going to survive this downturn. If you have a debtor that owes you money and you're about to sue them, realistically, waiting 30 days before you spend the $600, $800, whatever it is to have somebody sued, let's see if they're still in business in 30 days. Because to me, this reminds me a lot of 9/11, but as somebody had said earlier, and I'm going to steal it from them, I wish I could remember who said it, to where I could give them credit, is it's 9/11 in slow motion. So you're going to see companies that were in trouble not make it. That's also why through collections, we can also be a little bit more aggressive, and we're not under the same restrictions where if you were to have to send it out for court. Samantha, on this particular video with the court system, I mean, I'm asking you to look into a crystal ball on something that none of us have ever seen, but if you were to take a wild guess, is this courts freezing the next 30 days more than likely, or do you think it's going to be 90 or 120 days?
I think the courts are going to freeze the next 30 and 60 and then resume very limited. Unless we wake up tomorrow, there's been a cure, this thing gets wrapped up. I think they'll reopen in probably about 60. Again, this is my having to just predict, and it's going to be very limited. So things, and also you can't shut down courts for 30 to 60 days and not have a backlog.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So we could be feeling this, and I don't mean to sound crazy. We could be feeling this for the next 18 months, 24 months on the court system, because you're going to have double the cases. Things didn't get moved through.
And the other side of that is it's going to get bogged down even more, because you cannot pull this kind of money out without having some downturn, and you're going to see a surge of lawsuits when this thing instigates back.
Also, something that again, you and I have discussed, we don't want to be morbid in these, but things that have crossed my mind this morning, kind of as I've been going through my morning routine and getting ducks in a row, is bankruptcy courts have halted all proceedings. That now means the 90-day stay is paused as well.
Yes.
I also I'm assuming if they're doing 90-day stays paused, we also have 90-day clawbacks getting paused.
That's actually a really good point. And if anybody isn't understanding what Samantha is saying, if you've ever been in business and you had a company file bankruptcy, and then you get that notice from the bankruptcy court that says, oh yeah, by the way, the money they sent to you 6 months or 60 days prior, not 6 months, 60 days prior to them filing bankruptcy, you now have to give it back. The problem that you run into is you typically get that notification somewhere around 90 days to 6 months after. You may start getting those notifications a year later, because that look back period it's
going to be paused, and then the courts are going to be backlogged.
Yes. So good point. So the only thing I can say is stay calm and all of that good stuff. And these storms weather through, and when you make it out the other side, you'll be in much better position because some of your weaker competitors won't be there. But one thing that we're doing also, Samantha, is anybody that has a debtor that is more than 60 days past due, we're offering free credit checks. And my logic to that is, if it's a company that you've worked with and they run into a cash flow problem because of this unique issue, I'm the first to say, work with them. We're all in this together. But if it's a company that has been notoriously slow, or if they've had a history of poor credit for the last 12 months, you need to move lightning quick on those companies, because the weaker companies will not survive this downturn. And that's one reason why we're offering free credit checks to any company that has a debtor that's more than 60 days past due. 60 days past due. And the logic is so you can identify, is it Is it because of the coronavirus, or is it because of something much, much larger? Samantha, any closing statements before we wrap up this very, very odd Monday morning meeting?
I think that's it. If anybody has questions, please feel free to email me, Samantha@aercollections.com. But please understand, as these court updates are not going to happen, but I'll get you as much information as I can, and I'm staying in constant contact with our forwarding attorneys to know what's happening in each individual court.
Well, Samantha, I appreciate that, and I will be talking to you, I'm sure, later today.
Yep.